volunteers could pause for a moment. They've been planting the riparian buffer. You'll hear a little bit more about that from Ira and Friends of the Mad River shortly. What a great day for an outdoor celebration, huh? Come on over and we'll just take a break from planting and have a few words and then back to the fun. And Bear Simmons is walking around. She's the vice chair, she just waved, of the Mad River Valley Recreation District. And this event is part the celebration of the Recreation Hub, this great bridge and all the infrastructure here. And it's also the 30th anniversary of the Mad River Valley Recreation District. Funded by the towns of Warren, Waitsfield, and Fayston. So we thank those towns for their 30 years of support for everything recreation here in the valley. So the clipboard that's going around is for you to sign in. The state wants to know how many people we got at this grand opening after them giving us $408,000 from the VORAC Fund, the largest grant in the 2022 cycle. So we're so pleased and we thank all of our partners. This was a big community project that's still ongoing. And we're just really glad you came out for it today. Couldn't have a better day, huh? All right, if my partners in this project would come forward, Tom, Bob, Ira, Misha, thank you. And these are just a few of the great volunteers we've had on this project. For over 2 years, we've been meeting and planning, and then all of a sudden it came to pass, right? And really not all of a sudden, because there was so much work and small details in the background. So VORAC is the Vermont Outdoor Recreation Economic Collaborative. It's funded by the state of Vermont, and we thank them for this grant that made all this possible. This bridge goes up to the Howe Block and trails at Sugarbush, and our goal is to have people come closer to town and do things in town, use our trails, eat in restaurants, have a beer. And so one of the things I'll just make clear is this whole area we call the Recreation Hub. And then more specifically, the indoor space is the Welcome Center. And that's where the Chamber of Commerce has moved their offices to. And they have volunteers. We'd love more volunteers staffing that at different times. Tom's going to tell you a little bit more about that now. But again, welcome, and I'm Laura Arneson. I'm the Executive Director of the Mad River Valley Recreation District, and I'm going to pass the microphone to Bob Kogut. He's going to talk a little bit about the bridge. Then we're going to actually cut the ribbon in case some bike riders want to come across the bridge while we're still speaking. So here's Bob Kogut.
I'll just keep it short. So yeah, this bridge was a lot of fun to kind of design and build, and we got hundreds of people to help. I'd like to thank Mike Morelli and his son and their buddy Tommy. We actually had 3 qualified iron workers that showed up on the day that we had a crane to put this thing together, which was awesome. So it's an 88-foot bowstring steel truss bridge. Came up here in 2 pieces on 2 semi-trailers. We bolted it together right here in the field, and John Morris and John gave us an easement for this rec hub in the land. He's the owner of the building here. He and I dug the foundation holes over there by hand on Peter and Blaine Liskowski's land, who also gave us an easement for this. So lots of people helped, lots of people donated time. The 2 landowners gave us some key easements that could protect this for a long time. So we're very psyched about it.
Thanks. And this area is also connected to downtown trails, and Misha Gulfman of The Path is going to talk a little bit about how they participated in this.
So we have from here what we call a downtown connector. It is a recreational loop. It is not a direct connection to downtown, but if you get on your bike or walk from here, tell me afterwards if you could find your way to the downtown. It's made of 2 crossings of Vermont 100, I don't remember how many, maybe 8 to 10 different landowner permissions, a lot of cooperation. This was my first thing to do when I started my work here, and I was blown away how cooperative people are. You ask them, can you give us a 10, 20-year permission? And they say, sure. So thank you, everybody. And then the other thing that we did here is we have a new bathroom. It's a full resource recovery bathroom. 100% of what comes into it is going to be repurposed for the fertilizer. So no water, no waste.
Thank you, Misha. And Misha and the PAC were instrumental in getting the kiosks up. In the valley, we have more than 50, almost 60 branded kiosks throughout the valley now with maps that tell you where you are, and the new beautiful ones here. Thank you for your work on that. And Ira is going to talk to us about the riparian buffer and what Friends is helping us with.
Howdy everyone, thanks for coming out here today. I'm Ira Shedis, I'm the director of Friends of the Mad River. So, great bridge project. The other project that's here is a riparian buffer restoration. And so this is a great example of the way that this whole VORC funded effort has brought together recreation and conservation partners and really tried to bring in a sort of environmental, ecological awareness into this work. And so from the get-go, when we started talking about, where the bridge is going to go, how we were going to site things, we were also talking about opportunities to sort of enhance the wooded forested buffer along the Millbrook behind me. And so today we've got 400 native trees that we're trying to plant in a roughly 1 acre strip to expand this buffer here behind us. And there's a wide range of benefits. I'm happy to nerd out about those details if anyone wants to get into it. Thank you all for coming.
Thanks, Ira. And Ira and all of these people have been instrumental in a big part of this grant, which is called Conservation and Recreation Visioning, CRV for short. We've had 3 community forums. We have a steering committee of 15 people representing various conservation and trails and recreation groups in the valley. And the idea is to plan big for the future, to make sure that we balance recreation, outdoor trails, and a sustainable environment, so ecological integrity. So Ira chairs a working group for ecological integrity. I chair a working group for recreation and trails, and that work is continuing. And on November 20th, we'll have our last community forum for this year, the Valley Players, November 20th, and we invite you to be there. Our website, mrvrd.org, has lots of information, links to Mad River Valley Television. Thanks to them for filming our events, lots of documents that we're going to be delivering to the state, because they wanted to make sure that this project could be used as a template for other areas in the state, because there's a lot of pressure between trail development and nature and sustainable environment. So we're hoping that people will look toward us and what we've done here. So now I'm going to introduce Tom Spencer, and he's going to talk about Stewart MRV.
Hello everyone, it's pretty exciting. This has been a long time in the making. I think, Bob, I heard correctly that the first idea, maybe it was Ryder's idea for this bridge 10 years ago, is that right?
Thinking about it for a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Anyway, thank you all. Stewart MRV's played a role here. We've been thrilled to be part of the program. And moving forward, we're going to add this location as a Stewart MRV site. So we'll be looking for a couple volunteers to join the Stewart MRV program. So if anyone in this group has any interest in helping us maintain this beautiful spot, come and see me, and I'd love to get you signed up for Stewart MRV. So thank you for that. In addition to that, Eric Friedman, who's the executive director of the Mad River Valley Chamber of Commerce, had a family conflict and unfortunately couldn't be here today, but the Chamber of Commerce actually obviously played a significant role with this team of making all this happen. And part of the whole project here is the new Welcome Center right up behind you guys. I'm going to be up there later. We have an itinerary builder up there that's brand new and it's super cool. I'd love to show you guys. So if you have a moment, come on up and visit us this afternoon. But thank you all.
Thanks, Tom. Before we do the actual ribbon cutting for the bridge, I just want to say that after the ribbon cutting, there'll be a number of activities, a kids' bike ride. You can look at the off-grid toilet that Misha has worked on, get a demo of that. As Tom said, the itinerary builder up at the Welcome Center. And at 2:15, the Mad River Valley Recreation District will be celebrating with cupcakes and snacks and things our 30th anniversary. And we welcome everybody to stay and come up there for that. So thanks again for all the community support, all the volunteerism that made this possible. And now we're going to have the ribbon cutting.
I'll just sneak in here real quick. We still have quite a few trees to go on the ground, so please stick around, plant a tree, maybe 5, and then enjoy your cupcake.
So Bob did so much work on this bridge. It's kind of, you wonder, he does have a full-time job, but he does. So he's going to cut the ribbon. The bridge has been open, and thank you, riders, staff, friends, chamber, the town of Waitsfield, our landowners. Couldn't do it without you. All right, Bob, there we go. It's official. What do you think?
We saw that coming, didn't we?
It's almost official. Yeah, well. Hey! All right, enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks for coming out, and thanks for supporting recreation and conservation in the Mad River Valley. All right. Kids are riding across the bridge. This is the uphill ride.
All right, ready? Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going.
I'm giving a long, he's giving a long space. Okay, whenever you're ready, buddy, you can get going, okay?
All right, good job.
Do it, you gonna run it up? It's a little steep grade.
Yeah, it's gonna be in a low gear.
You're gonna go? Not yet.
Hold after hole.
So can you tell me more details about what the whole buffering system is?
I mean, essentially what we would prefer and really love is on all of our rivers to have a 50-foot wide buffer of trees and native vegetation. And part of what that does is, secures the bank. The roots of the trees hold the bank together, so when we have these big flood events, we experience less erosion and there's less sediment flowing through the river. From a biodiversity standpoint, it's really positive for a lot of the, just to have a wider range of species along our riverbanks. It encourages more birds and pollinator species, more mammals and amphibians that all can use that as a corridor next to the river. And then, in terms of what it's actually doing in this area, there's obviously been impact. So anywhere you see mineral soil that's exposed, ideally we can start to develop some plant growth in that area. And so the more work we do to get and establish a wider range of trees here, the more we'll start to see native inhabitants that would naturally be here, different types of species will start to use this area, as well as the humans that are moving through it.
So after the 400 trees get planted today, what has to happen after that in terms of human intervention?
The reason we're planting right now is that most trees are going into a level of dormancy. So we tend to plant really early in the spring and really late in the fall, and then that way we don't have to do as much with like watering or managing for competition. We will water all the trees here today. We have a group coming on Thursday from Harwood High School that's also going to help finish planting whatever else doesn't get in the ground, and then water all of these plants so that they have a chance to succeed. In terms of the long-term management of it, what we'll continue to do is we'll periodically check back. We'll look to see what the survival rate is. We expect it to be pretty high. This is a nice area that is really great for these trees to be planted in. And you know, one other factor that I didn't mention is that shaded rivers stay a lot cooler. So thinking about aquatic species like native trout and things of that nature, one of the things you would go, if you go on the main stem of the MAD, you'd see that a lot of the riparian buffer has been cleared, and that means that the sun is just beating down on the river and leads to higher water temperatures, which really is not great for a lot of the native species here. So the more shade we can actually provide for all the rivers and the tributaries, the cooler the water temps stay, which is great for aquatic species.
And so I've heard the chainsaw going a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that just taking out dead wood, clear the space for new trees?
It's
or
an invasive species that we're clearing out, so there's a couple of them here. Mostly it's honeysuckle and then some barberry, and those are introduced species. What they do is they outcompete other native species. They kind of spread. They don't actually provide food or any type of nourishment for the natural, like the native species that would live here. And so what we're trying to do is eradicate those. Honeysuckle in general is just a beast. You know, you have to get all of the roots out. Any part of that tree that lands on the ground will regenerate roots. So we're actually going to be hauling it off site and feeding it to the goats, which are another one of our ways to manage invasive species.
Nice. So Luke, you're here as a representative of Friends of the Mad River and Mad River Recreation.
Yeah.
Anyone else you're representing?
I mean, a
community member.
I live in Waitsfield. I have kids. I use the trails. So it's a cool opportunity to sort of blend all of those aspects, and I think that's what this project's been about, is how do we bring our community together, look at conservation and recreation from a very holistic standpoint to better understand where we want to have trails, where we want to have wildlife, and ecological integrity, and how do we find a balance as a community.
Nice. Thanks, Luke. Go ahead. Are you going to ride that little thing?
Nah, I can't. It'd be good footage.
Misha, where are we?
We are in the full resource recovery toilet at the Reg Hub, and we have a very unique toilet here with a conveyor in it, and it separates the liquids and the solids, and all the liquids go to the fertilizer plant that's wasted in Burlington and get processed into the agricultural fertilizer, and all the solids go into the containers in the service chamber behind us and get composted off-site. So in the end result, there's no water, there's no electricity, there's no waste.
And is this part of the VOREC grant as well?
This was not part of the VOREC grant, but we all realized with partners that we need a bathroom at the Rec Hub. We all pitched in, and the Chamber of Commerce pitched in, and the Rotary pitched in. And together we pulled resources together. The Yestermorrow students designed a beautiful building. The Medway Path board participated in design and building. Lots of details. Brett Cook did the plumbing. Charlie Hosford We have the handicap accessibility.
That was just yesterday, right?
Lots of hands, and here it is, and it's fully functional. Come and use it.
Nice. And so we are behind the chamber in the parking lot?
We're right behind the chamber at the Rec Hub parking lot.
Nice.
Which is going to become a busy place.
Okay.
There we go.
So tell me what's happening.
So today we're down at the new Dvorak Recreation Hub site, and we're planting over 200 trees on an acre of land here, filling in and expanding the riparian buffer in this area so that the stream bed here will be more resilient to flood events, and this area is going to stay a nice spot for people to come and access the bike paths up the hill.
And so who's organizing this whole planting and such?
Yeah, so Friends of the Mad River is organizing this planting in collaboration with and collaboration with the folks that have helped set up Dvorak.
True team effort.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's how it gets done.
Thanks. So what's going on here? Bob, you want to tell me a little bit about what's going on?
We are restoring and expanding the riparian buffer along the Millbrook. Stabilize the bank and
just for kicks, or is it just for kicks, or is there a greater purpose in mind?
It'll help hold the soil in. It'll keep the waters cooler, which is better for the fish. It's habitat for many animals.
You want to tell me about this bridge?
Yeah.
I'm going to scoot around.
The purpose of the bridge is to link the town to the trails. So we have a great trail network that starts right about here and goes all the way up all the way to Sugarbush. And we have a bunch of different ways to access it, but we didn't really have one that brought people right to the center of the village. So the idea is to have a recreation hub here and a nice access point into the trail system.
So where are we?
So we are near the corner of Route 17 and Route 100. Behind this building over here, which is the home of Stark Mountain Bike Works, the home of the new Welcome Center, formerly the home of the Local Folk Smokehouse, probably soon to be another restaurant in there. Yeah, and we have a trail that's going to follow along the edge of this riparian buffer. Across 100, and it goes back towards the Mad River over there. That's one way to get into town. And then across the bridge here, which is about 200 feet long total.
It's impressive.
Heads up into the land right on the other side is from the Laskowski family. Blaine and Peter Laskowski own it, and they gave us an easement to have trails and public access to the property. And like I said, you could ride through the woods here on trails and end up at American Flatbread, end up at Feist Elementary School, end up at Sugarbush.
Oh wow, all through the Enchanted Forest in there.
Trail.
Yeah, nice. And this is the culmination of the Dvorak grant?
Yes. So we 3 years or so, applied for and won one of the Dvorak grants for whatever that was 3 years ago. So this is the bridge, the Welcome Center, the parking area for the public, this planting effort, trail into town, improvements there, signage, plus the Conservation and Recreation Visioning Group, which is trail groups and conservation groups getting together to plan trails and ecological restoration throughout the valley. All of that paid for with the one grant, which I think was
$408,000, yeah.
Yeah, which was the largest one given out in the state.
Nice. All right, well, it looks like a lot of people have come together to make this happen.
Definitely, I would say, many hundreds of volunteers.
Nice.
Who have been working on this for the last at least 3 years.
Nice. Thanks.
Sure.
Everyone, thank you for joining us on this glorious day to celebrate 30 years of the Mad River Valley Recreation District and the opening of the Rec Hub. Cool. So I won't do Sarah's gonna laugh. So I won't do a dissertation on recreation and the Latin roots and the French origin, because it's kind of self-explanatory. It's recreate, which means recreate, So recreation is all about renewal, it is all about revitalization, and how lucky we are to be in a spectacular setting like this. And it doesn't matter how you recreate, whether it's that crack of the bat on the ball that goes over the center field and you come home, center plate, and everybody is hooting and hollering or putting the ball in the back of the net. Lots of ways to recreate, whether it's getting out and hiking, enjoying nature, or meeting the challenge for the first time of clearing the tabletop up on Chain Gang. So, right, yes, did it. So we're all very fortunate, camaraderie in that spirit of recreation and play and rejuvenation. So welcome, and I'm going to turn it over to Laura.
Thanks, Alice. Alice is our board chair at the Mad River Valley Recreation District. I'm the executive director. And thanks to all of you who came a bit earlier for our dedication of the Rec Hub and the celebration of the VORAC grant that we got, the biggest grant in the 2022 cycle, and been working on it for many years, and things have all come together. We have many partners on that, and I thank them for their help. And one of the things at the Mad River Valley Recreation District that we're really pleased about is just thanking the 3 towns that have supported us for 30 years, and that's Warren, Waitsfield, and Fayston. And way back when, they decided that a volunteer group should become the keeper of all the asks for recreation. So they started out by donating $7,500 each. It's grown since then, enabling the rec district to have part-time staff, which I am, and to do a number of different projects and to have the capacity to apply for a grant like that. So the rec district is the fiscal agent of the $408,000 VORAC grant, and so sometimes I feel like a bookkeeper, but we're almost through that. One big part of the grant is a project we call CRV, Conservation and Recreation Visioning, and that is trying to balance nature and trails and outdoor recreation, so for the long haul. So that's a community project that will continue on beyond the end of the grant period, which is this December, but that will be something that the rec district wants to stay involved in. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So one of the things we couldn't do at the rec district is make progress without volunteers. So we are fortunate to have so many volunteers in our valley, all the different organizations, and we wanted to start an annual Volunteer Hero Award. So this first year, the Rec District Board decided who that should go to. Coming up, 2025 and beyond, we'll be taking applications from our rec partners, our conservation partners in the valley about people who have volunteered. But this first year, it was a really easy decision because somebody has been out there building trails and boardwalks and shelters for portalets and mowing and just doing lots of amazing things. So I am describing Charlie Hosford. Charlie has done so much to enrich this valley, and we also thank you, Carol, for, there's probably some things on the honey-do list that don't get done because he's doing so much for the community. But we just thank you, and we have a little gift certificate for you. And if you'd like to say anything, please do. But if not, don't feel pressured. And
let's see. I don't know. I'm not used to public speaking after leaving the select board, but
You should turn around, huh?
Yeah.
Step up to the podium,
Come to our stage.
Right in front of the camera.
Volunteering for sort of community projects is, something that I love doing. In fact, I need to thank the Rec District for creating some of those those projects.
You're so
I'm retired. I'm still able to I have some skills that relate to some of the projects, and you know, if that wasn't, if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. But I enjoy it immensely, and you know, the fabric that this valley is sort of creating in terms of recreational opportunities, and also there's some projects, you know, there's some rough edges to our community that need attention, and I'm also involved in a fair amount of just helping some folks who can't help themselves. But thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Carol and I will enjoy whatever's in here.
That's great. Back over to Alice, and then afterward, please come and have a cupcake to celebrate the 30 years of the Rec District and other snacks. But Alice?
Okay. So it's my pleasure and honor to present on behalf of the Men River Valley Recreation District a Lifetime Achievement Award. And this goes to a person who served on the board for a quarter of a century, 25 years of tremendous commitment and dedication. You all know John Stokes. You can stay right there. And if you don't know John, or well, you would, because he is sort of the Papa San of soccer in the Valley. He has coached dozens and dozens of kids, including his own daughters, who he taught to have a deft touch on the ball and the courage to slide tackle the boys fearlessly. That's the kind of person, you know, he is a no fears kind of person, and one of his most remarkable achievements and a reflection of his commitment was to continue to advocate for the purchase of the Mad River Park. And without John's help on that, it might not have come to fruition. And he was relentless, he was dedicated, he was everywhere. And we finally purchased the Mad River Park, and we got to the point, 5 years?
2017.
2017, so 7 years. And undeterred, John, in his aspirational vision for all things soccer and the park, said, I'm not done yet. I've got one more thing I want to do. And because of John, we now have an irrigation system at the Mad River Park. So John Stokes, thank you so much for all of your years of commitment and a little reflection of our gratitude. To open that.
Thank you. Are you going to do it?
No.
Full of Cubans.
Oh,
nice.
Wow. Yes, just what old people want. And my you say about recreate, or whatever that word was, unfortunately, when I had my 90th birthday Friday, so now my recreating is pushing the buttons on the TV.
Does it give you joy?
No.
No.
That's a good answer, John.
Like to play. Like to play.
I wish I could play and be more active,
but you've made such a difference in the lives of so many in this valley.
Well, the reason I became to do that is I coached my girls and boys through their youth. But then, and then when they went away to college, what am I going to do? I don't play golf, so I continued with soccer. And of course, to have soccer, you need a soccer field, and that's why I decided the best place for the soccer field is where we put it. And otherwise, it would have been all those light things for sun sensors for the electricity, or he was going to put in more storage units. He says, no, it's got to be a soccer field, and lacrosse.
And lacrosse.
So.
And, you know, Frisbee for the folks who have it. I mean, if you look at snapshots, photos of the Mad River Park, and you look at people playing on the park, their joy is inescapable. And that is something that you were instrumental in making happen.
That's why I enjoyed coaching for 42 years or whatever it was. It's a long time to coach.
Sarah can do a mean slide tackle.
We didn't have girls' teams when she was playing, so she played on boys' teams.
I know, and that's the fearless part of, you know.
When she was young, hey, I have to tell her story. They had a game, you know, and the coach told me of the boys' team, Sarah was late one day, and all the little boys said, "Where's Sarah? Where's Sarah? We need Sarah. Where is she?" They were in panic because she wasn't coming to play soccer with us. So being that I don't have a teleprompter, I guess I will end my speech. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
I'm a 60-year member of the Mad River Glen Ski Patrol.
Nice.
So you might have seen him on the hill.
Now I work in the first aid room. I don't ski.
Thank you, John.
Excellent. So I will just end with this. There was a lot of information on the Rec District's website, which is mrvrd.org. A lot of information about conservation and recreation visioning, this community project that we're heavily involved with, and we hope that you'll consider joining us on November 20th at Valley Players Theater for another community forum. We've had 3 of those so far, trying to get input from the community on how we'll balance trails and ecological integrity moving into the future. So thank you for coming today, and please enjoy refreshments, and then get outside and have a great day on this beautiful October day. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.